Hey guys, and I'm back with another review for Scream 6, but this time the review is full of spoilers. And I assume if you are watching this, you likely seen the movie already because, yeah, this review is full of spoilers. Just like my previous one was spoiler free, this is full of spoilers. So, and what I'm going to say right now, I still was not a very huge fan of the movie. It wasn't like bad by any means, or at least not terrible, I guess, but it was pretty forgettable. And let's get to talk about it now. Since this is full of spoilers, I'll get to specifics now. The story of Scream 6 is that two sisters move into New York City and then Scream murders by a killer in a mask start again, and they team up with some other people to find the killer. Of course, it's quite obvious that those sisters were characters from the previous movie, but as I said, I haven't seen it, so obviously I didn't know a lot of the references, but it was pretty obvious that you were supposed to already know you were already supposed to know them. So yeah. The very introductory scene of the movie was also super confusing. I don't know if this also you were meant to see the previous movie or not, but the scene was that there was a different ghost face who suddenly jumped and murdered a woman, stabbed her with a knife, and then he quickly took off the mask, and which also confused me. Like, if he's meant to be the killer, why reveal him right away? So I was wondering, does he have an accomplice? Yeah. And then quickly was killed off as well, which made it all the more confusing. Like, this is a big flaw. Like, if you're going to introduce, don't introduce a different killer in the very beginning if the whole movie is about the killer. Like, why not just have a killer be there from the beginning? Why introduce a separate killer, kill him off quickly, and then have the story revolve around a very different killer? Like, this really made no sense to me, personally at least. And remember when I was saying it was very predictable who the killer in the movie was? I mean, the killer of the main story, not the killer in the beginning, obviously. And the killer, Ghostface, was revealed to be the detective, the one who was examining the case. And for me, for some reason, it seemed very obvious. I don't know why. It just seemed super, super obvious to me. I don't know if because of the old Scream movies or intuition, I don't know, but it just seemed very obvious to me, so I wasn't surprised at all. And then when his children have revealed to be accomplices, well, I guess his daughter being still alive and his accomplice was somewhat of a surprise, but again, actually maybe if she was actually a victim, it would actually be more interesting. That would actually make him more evil and a bigger hypocrite, because the motivation is kind of also very ridiculous. Apparently they want to avenge like his oldest son Richie, who I presume was the killer from the last year's movie. I mean, who else he could be? I said I haven't seen last year's movie, but it seems pretty obvious to me that the eldest son he kept trying to avenge was actually the killer from the previous movie that I haven't seen. Yeah, I assume that's probably it. But as I said, revealing his daughter to be an accomplice, sure, I guess you could call it a twist that she was alive, but honestly, I think it would actually work better to keep her dead. That would somehow, I guess, make the twist that Cobb is the killer better. And when I was saying the final battle was super ridiculous, I meant it. Like, most of the Scream final battles are kind of over the top, but this really took the cake. Like, the other son of the cop was literally stabbed many times, and he was stabbed right through the mouth. But then, after his father and sister were both killed, he was literally revealed to be alive, and he didn't die until television set crushed his head, which I felt like was basically a desperate callback to the first Scream movie, where one of the killers also died this way. But again, we don't need references or anything. We just need an interesting, good story. And all Scream movies already gave it to us. I mean, as I already said, I'm not particularly very huge, gigantic fan of the Scream movies in general, but in general, what this movie was trying to do, or maybe it was trying to laugh at the old Scream movies, I don't know, but even if it was trying to recreate the old Scream movies, it strongly failed to do it, because if you want a Scream movie, just watch the old ones. Because yes, those are the real Scream movies. And honestly, now I think about it, Scream is one of those franchises that again just doesn't need to be made again. Because again, like we already had the old Scream movies, like the twist of a masked killer. Old movies have done it pretty well. We don't really need another one. Like, it's pretty obvious to me that Hollywood now desperately tries to recreate franchises that should just be retired. And I'll be honest, when I found out recently, I like the movie even less now, because I said in my spoiler-free review that the movie keeps referencing all the previous Scream movies, but I initially thought that maybe this movie technically took place in a different universe and where those movies were fiction, but no, it's apparently very much meant to be a sequel. Which, in this case, why constantly break the fourth wall? Why reference a much better movies when they're supposed to be taking place right in the same universe? I don't get it. Why not just set a story in a different universe, simply if you desperately want to reference much better movies? So now, in conclusion, I think, if you consider this movie to be a generic slasher, I guess I would give it a pass, but it would still not be anything original or spectacular. But if you want an actual Scream movie, well, then you have the old ones from the past. Those are the real Scream movies, and stick with those. This movie, ultimately, I'm going to say, was not very good. I guess I don't hate it as much as some people, because I said I'm not super passionate about the Scream franchise in general, but as I said, it's just a generic slasher, really, nothing else. So, thank you guys for checking out this video. Press the like button, please subscribe to this channel, and I'll talk to you soon in another video. Talk to you later, bye!